Hello friends, in today's video I'm going to talk about PostgreSQL. What you can see right now is an airline ticket reservation database. Over here I have got 8 entities or tables. I would try to explain what is the association of these in context to the particular database which I am showing. So I will explore all these entities individually and would try to define the relationship that they set among each others with the help of different keys. So let's get started. If you look over here, since there are 8 entities, you might be wondering that where from we need to start. Well, the ideal place would be look out for those entities that has got a single key, like for example aircraft. It has a single key. Airport has a single key. Booking has a single key. Ticket also has a single key, but over here book reference is there, right? So let's start with aircraft first, because aircraft has got one key. And how do I define its key? Because hash is there, so we will treat hash to be as a primary key for that particular given table. Okay, or when there is an association, like as you can see in context to ticket underscore flight, you will find there are 2 hashes there. So we'll explore these facts. So let's start with aircraft. So in a flight reservation, aircraft table will play a very important role, as it will tell you what type of aircraft is this. So let me fire the SQL command, select star from aircraft, and as I do that, you get to see these records that is coming from the following table called aircraft. So what is the relevant of this? As I said, in the aircraft table you will be having aircraft code as a primary key. As you can see, these codes are all unique. So this code represents what type of aircraft is this, like Boeing 777 or Airbus A320. So it is talking about the different model, you can say the different model of the aircraft that particular reservation system is making use of. If you look at this data very minutely, you might be wondering what type of representation is this. Well, this is called JSON-B. In PostgreSQL there is a data type called JSON-B. So JSON, JavaScript object notation, B stands for binary, so it is in the form of key value pair. So this particular EN, that means the language which we have chosen is EN, is English, and here is a value. Similarly, the language chosen is Russian, here is a value. Now this is very important in modern days, because one system need to be used in different languages, hence many a time this kind of format are required. So do remember, in case of PostgreSQL we have a data type called JSON binary where key value pairs are involved. Okay, so aircraft entity deals with different type of instances of aircraft model. Okay, that's what the aircraft table is meant for. Now let's come to airport. So similarly, airport will have its own airport ID. In that airport will also have its own name. It will, where it is located, the city, the coordinate, lat long, and the time zone. So you can even fire let me copy this and let's fire the airport. So AIRPORTS, and let's click on this. Here you get to see different details or different instances of the airport. As you saw, the airport will have its own unique code, the name of the airport. Again, the JSON-B comes in picture. The city also has a JSON-B. The coordinate is in form of latitude or longitude, and which particular time zone you're using, that comes under reflection over here. So that's how the following table airport is been represented. So these two has got dedicated primary key, and they are not making use of any foreign key or multiple primary keys. They have got one own primary key. Okay, now well, let's talk about the flight. This is very interesting. And oh, by the way, one more thing, since we talked about the aircraft, so we can also talk about seat as well. That means each aircraft will have a dedicated seat. So let's go and check the seat once. So let's copy these and let's come over here, seats, and let's run the code. As you can see over here, see the aircraft is being repeatedly used. As I said, that the aircraft is the model, so the same model will have multiple instances for each seats. Okay, so as you can see over here, these are the foreign key, right? Let me show you. This is the primary key. The same primary key, when it coming over here, it can repeat it. But yes, for a given aircraft, there would be one single seat number. You cannot assign the same seat number for the same aircraft twice. So you can say that jointly together they are a unique combination. So these two things put together would be a primary key. So there would be no instance which will have a aircraft code of 319 and the seat number 2A. That combination will be always unique. Fine. So that's how the seat number and aircraft code jointly together is working. So that's how the primary key together can also be made. It's a composite primary key, you can say so. Okay, now let's come to the flight, and this is very interesting. Well, what do I mean by flight? Well, you can consider the flight is like a trip or a journey. Like for example, Airbus 777 is traveling from Kolkata to New Delhi. This can be one journey. Boeing 777 is traveling from New Delhi to Chennai. That can be one flight. So that means the same aircraft code will go through multiple flights, because each flight is a journey. So that's the reason why the aircraft code, there will be multiple instances and each journey will be unique. That's something very interesting. So flight ID is going to be unique, but the aircraft code is going to be repeatedly used. Let's see the flight table once. Okay, and here it comes. Let's click this and let's look at the aircraft code. See aircraft code 319 is over here. Look at this, CN1 multiple times, CR2 multiple times. That means the same aircraft model has been used for multiple instances, but the flight ID, see the flight ID is all unique because it's a primary key. It's a key over here. It's a key over here. So this particular flight ID is all going to be unique, but the aircraft code will be multiple instances will be there. So remember, in case of reservation system, the flight is just like a journey which you are undergoing from one place to another, or from the same place you are leaving to another place using the same Airbus. So for that reason, in the flight table, the flight ID is going to be the primary key, but the aircraft code is always going to be a duplicate entry. I hope it making sense, right? Okay, now let's come. Apart from that, there are other attributes are there which are by default you can understand very well what this means. So I'm talking about the relevant part, and that is the relationship. That is something which is very important. Okay, now let's talk about the ticket. This is something quite another interesting stuff. When we talk about ticket, what do I mean by that? Well, you might say that a customer is purchasing a ticket. Perfectly fine. Now when you're talking about a customer, the customer can be a solo customer. Like for example, if I am traveling, suppose I'm traveling alone from one place, suppose I'm traveling from Kolkata to Bangalore, so that would be a solo journey. But suppose if I am taking my mother with me, so that will not be a solo journey, it will be a family journey, because I and my mother, although we are two different passengers, but we will be traveling in the same flight under the same booking, right? Making sense? Okay, let me give you another example. Suppose you went to a shopping mall and you purchased 3 products. So are you going to get 3 different bills? Of course not. You will be getting only one bill. So that bill will have one bill number, but in that bill there will be 3 different product ID, right? Same thing over here. In the passenger, I will be having different passenger IDs, but both me and my mother together will be registered under one booking ID. So there will be one unique booking ID. That booking ID will be repeatedly used in case of ticket if a family trip is going on. Otherwise, if a solo passenger is traveling, so the booking ID will be written once in the ticket. Let's go and check out. The thing will be more easy for you to understand. So let's see the booking first. Okay, let me comment this portion and let's uncomment this. So let me run this. Here a list of booking you are seeing. Different bookings are there, and remember this booking a primary key, right? And now let's go and check out the ticket. That will make more sense. So let's go and click the ticket and now see the ticket number and the booking reference. Look at this. The booking reference in this case are same, and see, they are same. But what about this one? This is one single. So consider I myself is traveling, so I'm a solo passenger. So that's the reason the booking ID is one time been used. But this is my ticket number, that is unique, right? The passenger ID is also unique. But look at these two. Consider I'm traveling with my mother. So naturally the booking ID will be there twice, but there will be two different tickets generated, and for two different passengers the passenger ID is also different. Something like you are purchasing 3 products, so product ID will be different, but they will have one common bill number. Same thing over here. So that's how the booking is playing a very important role. So in any ticket reservation, whether it's a bus, whether it's a flight, whatever be, you will be having one booking ID, and that booking ID will be used repeatedly for individual tickets, where passenger ID is going to be unique as well, right? So these two things you need to differentiate. Now if you notice over here in this ticket, flight was not mentioned, the flight ID was not mentioned. So for that reason you have got another table over here where the ticket ID will come, as well as from the flight table the flight ID will come. Together they will be there as a composite primary key, because single ticket, single flight ID will be one instance, together it will be one instance, and over here the passenger details will be mentioned. So we are maintaining normalization perfectly well. According to a normalization, every table should deal about its own self. So inside the ticket we are talking about the IDs, but when these two things are put together, we are now talking about the both ticket as well as the flight ID. We are not talking about the passenger, because the passenger information is mentioned over here. So to summarize the entire thing, booking will be one reference. That reference can be forwarded to one solo passenger, or the same booking ID will be there multiple times for a family trip. Okay, and in the flight table the flight information is there, which has been put in the ticket flight table together. One more thing is left over here, that is the boarding. We know that in case of airline we have a boarding pass. Sequentially the dispersion of the passenger would be going on. Like if my boarding number is 25, that means before me there are 24 passengers are there, so they have to get into the system first, I mean into the flight, and then my turn will come. So that's the reason why over here the boarding ID comes in picture. That will tell me at what is my position, when to board. Okay, so ticket ID will come from here, as you can see very well. The flight ID is going to come over here very well, and the boarding number would be generated like dynamically, and the seat number will also come from the aircraft right over here, because the aircraft is providing the seat number, which eventually comes to flight, and from the flight the seat number will be provided. I believe I have covered all the 8 tables, attributes and the relationship over here. So if you are still having some confusion, go through this particular video once again, and I believe this will help you a lot. In my coming days, what I will be doing is I will start working on different queries, how these tables will be working together, and specifically about the join, how they are associated, the relationship. Okay, so this is a beginning of a new series for me, and I'm super excited for this series, because this is really will make you strengthen your SQL segment. And as I'm working on PostgreSQL, as you can see over here, new attribute called JSON has been added, which makes me super excited for this to explain. And of course this entire thing I will be using with the help of Python Django, and that would be more exciting. Okay, so that's all from this video presentation. Stay tuned for the next update. Thank you very much.